Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2020 career mode for the Formula 2 round at the Spa circuit. We have a good championship lead, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, 31 points ahead of Correa, a further 5 points back to Matsushita. So let's hope we can extend that today in qualifying. So here we go into turn 1, a little bit deep into Les Ours, and that's going to cost us time all the way
down the order. You're now in P7.
Up to Eau Rouge. So let's hope we can recover from that and still improve on our initial lap time, because we are currently sitting down into P8. So yeah, we really need to work hard on this lap. A little bit in the grass there, I think, just as we were getting past the DRS board, and that also could cost us a bit of time. So yeah, a bit of a scrappy lap so far. Nicely through the first part of Les Combes, but missing the apex miles off at Malmedy, and now heading towards the very understeery right-hander of Ravage. Let's hope we can get through here cleanly, and it looks fairly neat and tidy through there. Now no name corner, and we missed the apex slightly there again, so the lap just is not coming together the way I would have liked to, and certainly not the best lap I've ever done around this circuit. Pouon though getting through there fairly nicely now. Heading towards the chicane. Let's see, a little bit deep into here as well, but we still manage to make something of an apex, and now heading towards Stavelo, probably one of the most important corners, because the exit here can cost a lot of time if you get it wrong, and that's exactly what we do. A lot of understeer through the second part there, and it sends us quite wide, so it's going to cost us time all the way along through Blanchimont, and until we get to the braking zone at the bus stop. So that could cost us several positions with how tight the field is. Late on the brakes here, not quite using all the entry road on the left there, and just these final two corners to navigate smooth on the power out of the final corner. Short line to the finish, and we go to P8 still.
So qualifying is complete, and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Matsushita, De Vries and Jack Aitken. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
And now we're not on the first page of results.
It's Saturday, and that means we're preparing for today's Formula 2 event here in Spa. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of what promises to be a terrific race. So here we are again, a whopping 4.35 miles of track here at Spa, featuring long straights, some seriously fast corners, and some massive elevation changes. This is a track that routinely delivers high-quality racing, and we'll be hoping to see just that from our young F2 drivers today. Davide Valsecchi joins me today. Davide, Spa is a favourite for fans and drivers alike. What tips would you have for these young drivers today?
Always a pleasure to be here, Alex. Who doesn't love Spa? I wish I was down there racing today. I would say there's a lot of places to overtake on this circuit, so be patient on that first corner. Try and get through it safely, get a good exit, and get in the right position to attack at the end of the main straight.
Here are the starting positions for today's race. Nobuharu Matsushita lines up on pole position, and P2 goes to Nick De Vries, a strong showing from the Dutch driver. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Aitken, Ilott, Giuliano Alesi, and Hubert, Correa, Giotto, Boccalacci, Louis Delatraz, Mazepin, Joe, Sergio Sette Camara, and Schumacher, King, Latifi, the scientist, and Ralph Boscher, Calderon, and Mahavir Raghunathan starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, so here we are on the grid for the feature race in Belgium, in 17th position to start this one off. No weather to interfere on the strategy front, so it will just be the standard soft tyres to the mediums. So let's just get into it and see how we go. Five red lights. And away we go for the feature race here in Belgium. A lot of wheel spin for Jordan King. He's immediately going to be overtaken by Latifi. Same for us and Ralph Boschung around our outside. We're going to be side by side into the first corner though, but we're going to be very cautious. We don't need to break our front wing on King's car. before the race has barely got started. We get a bad exit though. Now Raikkonen is around our outside as we head up towards Eau Rouge for the first time, and this is going to be very, very tricky. Side by side through Eau Rouge with Raikkonen. Bit of contact through Radion, but we get the move done, and Raikkonen has to back out of that, or that would have been something of an aeroplane crash. So thankfully no major damage was occurred there. But anyway, now with the field spread, we are already starting to close up to Ralph Boschung once again after losing a bunch of time through Radion. But yeah, it won't be long now before we can start making some moves in this race, as we almost rear-end Boschung through Rivage. So that is just how much time you lose in the pack when you're stuck behind all the other cars, as they're still spreading out at the start of the race. So here we go through Pouon. We'll see if we can get a nice run on the exit. It's possible. I've made this move before, and it looks like we might make it again, as we have a nice slipstream, and down the inside we go of Ralph Boschung, and we get the move done and move ourselves up into 17th position. Next up is Mick Schumacher, who has also had a pretty rough start to this race, it seems, and potentially losing a few positions for him as well. So not a good run for the Prema team so far, sitting in 16th and 17th. He's put, though, putting pressure on Latifi, so if he can get a nice slipstream through Blanchimont, he may have a move going as he heads into the bus stop. So let's see what he can do through Blanchimont. We have to back out a little bit, isn't it? Schumacher's almost off the road, and we're going to have a look. Latifi doesn't cover Schumacher down the inside, and he makes the move on Latifi around the outside of the final corner. They're still side by side. We try to switch back both of them. Doesn't work out for us. We just get a pile of wheel spin, and now Boschung is trying to come back at us as Calderon has overtaken Raikkonen in the background, as we switch down the inside of Latifi at the last moment, and that is a nice move on the Canadian, and he's had a rough season so far, not getting much better from him. But we were late on the brakes trying to defend from Boschung, and found ourselves almost drilling Latifi. We had to switch to the inside. That was Jordan King up ahead with a lock up there. But now Schumacher is the next car ahead of us. Can we make the move on him as we head into La Source? This time down the inside, a huge send, and he actually doesn't fight too much on the outside there. I don't think he really could. And we move ourselves up now into 15th position. Next up is Jordan King, who is right behind Nikita Mazepin, so they're having a bit of a battle on their own. We run wide through Blanchimont. King is wide as well, but he's going to have a look at Mazepin, who defends. We go to the outside of King to see if we can take advantage of them taking a compromised line, but that door was always going to close. Now Schumacher around our outside, and Schumacher manages to get himself back up into 15th position. But here's the onboard with Schumacher, and he was very aggressive, took the inside line, no hesitation to go around the outside of the final corner, and he took that position right back from us, back up into 15th for him. But we're going to come straight back at him down the inside into La Source, and we move ourselves back ahead of our teammate within the space of a few hundred meters. So yeah, didn't pay off in the end for Schumacher, but now we are in a space where hopefully we can put pressure again on Jordan King as we continue on. But Schumacher, though, with a good run out of Radion, we might be under pressure here. We are. Schumacher gaining and goes to the inside, but we're going to be later on the brakes, and we should be able to hold him off through Les Combes, and we do just that now. We should be able to pull away through the middle sector and try and catch up to Jordan King and Mazepin once again. So here we go through Eau Rouge on the very next lap, missing the apex on the right there and cutting on the left, but we have an alright run with the DRS. We should be able to get close enough to potentially make an overtake. So here we go in the slipstream with the DRS open, but we're not really gaining. We have a big send to the inside. King locks up, but we can't quite make the move, and King maintains the position for now. So he's under pressure. We just need to keep this up, and we should be able to make the move soon enough. So here we go towards the first corner once again, down the inside, and we make that move relatively easily there. King, though, still alongside on the exit. We're trying to look around and see where he is as we go for a little wander off circuit, and he backs out of it before we get to Eau Rouge, not wanting to do what his teammate Ray Kunnison did there and fight the position all the way up the hill, and he lives to fight another day. Now Mazepin is up next. Can we make the same move on Mazepin that we made on Ralph Boschem? We go to the left this time, and Mazepin squeezes us onto the grass. Round the outside we go though, still having enough grip there to make the move to the inside, and we make our way ahead of Nikita Mazepin. That was sketchy though, from Mazepin, cuts right across in front of us. To be fair, we probably only just barely had an overlap, but if I tried to keep the foot in and go straight ahead like along the edge of the track there, that would have been a big crash, but we do manage to survive that and get the position, so all's fair, I suppose. Mazepin now down into 14th, we're up to 13th as Sete Camera and Luca Giotto battle away up ahead. We're just going to see if we can take the advantage around the outside, 3 wide, but we were just way too deep in there and no opportunity, but Giotto holds on, no making an overtake into that corner. That would have been asking for trouble, so let's see if we can make the same move that we did on King, or that we tried to on King, round the outside into the bus stop, and I think we should be able to sweep around. No, he chops us off just like King. We may actually have run into the back of him there, and that didn't thankfully cause any damage, but it very well could have, so a lucky escape there. Now up the hill once again, taking a lot of curb inside and outside there, and we got the run on Sete Camera, who has lost a lot of pace in the recent past to Giotto, who has really taken off now and gapped us, so we need to work hard to try and catch up to him, but we do make the move on Sete Camera and move ourselves up into P12. So we're having a decent run in this race so far, heading up Eau Rouge and Radion once again. We're going to be under pressure though from Sete Camera, who has got some pace back again in this race. Conditions getting a bit darker, but no rain was forecast. But Sete Camera back down the inside. We're going to fight it out on the outside, around the outside through La Sauce and Lecom rather, and we managed to stay ahead of Sete Camera just there. But he's not going to go down without a fight, it seems. He's had a pretty rough season, considering you would expect him to be fighting for race wins. But anyway, we come in for a pit stop finally in this race. So considering it is only time for the first pit stop, we're already up into 12th. It's been a pretty good run for us so far in this race, and I would imagine we can continue to fight forwards on these new tyres. We can push again, and hopefully we can get that reverse grid pole.
After these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound.
So here we go out of pit lane on some brand new tyres. We've got a Sete Camera right behind us once again, but we should be able to hold him off up the hill and continue on and try hopefully to put Luca Giotto under pressure in the next few laps. I'm not sure if he didn't pit with us. Brand new Joe is at the car in front, so Giotto, I assume, stayed out an extra lap as we have to fend off Sete Camera, but we managed to do that, and now we can just focus on our own race once again as we go wide, and Sete Camera to the inside there. We're going to be side by side as we head towards Rivage, but hopefully we can sweep around the outside here, and we'll have the inside line for No Name Corner, so we hold him off there and maintain the position, but mistakes creeping in, and that's could have been very costly. Speaking of mistakes though, here is Jordan King losing the back end into the wall, and as he was battling Sete Camera, just throwing the car away there, and he is out of the race.
We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
And that did bring out the virtual safety car for a short time, but we get going once again. You can see we've got the track to ourselves here, not really anything to show in terms of our race. So we're just on our own for the most part, but Nikita Mazepin also retires from the race some laps later with a mechanical failure, and he brings the car to a stop on the exit, or on the entry to the Eau Rouge Radion complex. That brings out the full safety car, so we're going to take the opportunity here to come into pit lane, put the soft tyres on, and have a bit of fun and charge our way through the field, because I don't think I really have the pace at this point to get the car up into the points. We were catching Giotto and the other cars in front, but I think this could be a better strategy for us. So here we are, ready to take the safety car, restart, and trying to get a nice exit out of the final corner. Doesn't work out for us at all though, and we
keep managing your tires. Manage your tires.
we lose a pile of time on the restart, and we don't have an opportunity to overtake Raikkonen into the first corner or through the Eau Rouge Radion complex like we did before. We're going to need to overtake a couple of cars each lap though if we want to make up for this pit stop. So immediately as we head towards Les Combes, around the outside of Raikkonen, and he doesn't make that too difficult for us. Fights it on the apex a little bit, but we managed to get through with a much grippier car at this point. Next up is Latifi, who's had a fairly ordinary race so far, dropping a lot of positions down the inside of Latifi, and we get that move done very, very easily. Next up is Ralph Boschung, who has also had a fairly quiet race at the back of the field. He did obviously overtake Latifi at some point, so Latifi must have some kind of issue surely in this race. A nice run though on Boschung through Eau Rouge and Radion, and we make the move around the outside. Almost a bit of contact as we go side by side along the Kemmel Straight with Ralph Boschung, and hopefully with a bit of a slipstream from Calderon we should be able to pull it through around the outside. We're still side by side as we go through Les Combes, almost off the track there on the exit, but we make the move on Boschung eventually and move ourselves up. Next up is Tatiana Calderon, trying to get a nice run through Eau Rouge and Radion once again, and we should, with a bit of slipstream here, get that move done. Calderon though also with the wing open, so we're both getting the reduced drag, but round the outside we go, and making that move again quite easily through Les Combes. Next up is a side-by-side battle with Schumacher and Sete Camera. Not going to get involved in that just yet, but we need to make these moves very, very soon so we can move ourselves up and get back into at least 12th position to make it look like this strategy was worth it. We're currently in P14, so if we do make these two overtakes, we'll be back where we were before, down the inside of Schumacher, and very, very aggressive there. But I can sort of feel these tyres are starting to lose grip compared to the cars we're racing.
This is your final lap of the race.
And on this final lap, they're pretty much, I'd say, capable of the same lap time. So the softer compound loses grip very, very quickly. And we do make the move on Sete Camera, but look at the gap to Luca Giotto in front of us. There is no chance we were ever going to catch up to him on this strategy. If we got a better restart and overtook Raikkonen immediately and wasted less time battling with a few of them, we probably could have done a bit better. Boschung, we lost a bit of time there, and I think with a few other cars we could have managed a bit better, but the gap to Giotto, considering we've only done a few laps, is massive. So he clearly has the pace to hold us off, I think. So that's a little bit disappointing that we couldn't quite get to him. But at the end of the day, it's not a bad recovery drive, and we are in prime position to get some points in the sprint race if we finish where we are now. And I'm very thankful that we had a large buffer in the championship, because this race is going to cost us a lot of that. Because Nobuharu Matsushita is in the lead at the moment. He took the pole position, and he might well take the fastest lap as well. I'm not entirely sure who's got that at the moment, but he is also going to win this race, as he does set the fastest lap of the race on the final lap. So good effort there from the Japanese driver in the Carlin to take maximum points from this race as we come across the line. No points. P12. Driver of the day though. Good comeback, but a little disappointing. I feel like we could have got a bit more out of that race. I think at the end of the day that pit stop, bad idea.
So as they climb out of the car, the Carlin team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The safety car made a big difference today, there's no doubt about it. I can't be certain, but it would have been a very different race and probably podium too without it. What I do know is that they came out of that situation in a favorable position. The safety car really does alter the balance of the race.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team.
So it's Nobuharu Matsushita who takes the win today from Nick de Vries in second and Jack Aitken on the podium for Campos.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
It's a difficult call, but I'm going to give it to the Prema driver. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Arden's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So, Matsushita closes to just 5 points behind us. Thankfully in this next race he won't be starting too far or up the road from us, so we should have the chance to beat him in the sprint race. But yeah, really not a good race in terms of our championship, but it'll keeps things close, keeps things exciting. Correa losing a lot of ground as well, and Matsushita has been on fire recently. He had a few bad races here and there where he had a bit of bad luck. Austria comes to mind, but he's really coming on strong at this point, and gaining maximum points today is incredible for his championship chances. So he'll be very happy with today's work. For us, we've put ourselves in a good position for the sprint race, which was always the goal. I was hoping for a top 8, which if the race went perfectly we may have been able to get there, but it wasn't to be, and it was P12 in the end. You can see a little bit of damage to the front of our car there. I'm not sure if that had a huge impact, but it wasn't to the front wing, it was just to the, I guess the nose cone, I guess you would call it. And yeah, I'm not sure if that really affected the performance too much, but yeah, there was that damage there. Can see it again. So that potentially could have been why we struggled to get through the pack towards the end of the race, but we still had some alright pace when we put those new tyres on. But anyway, I guess we'll never know what could have been, but yeah. But anyway, next race is the sprint race. It's actually going to be intermediate conditions, or wet conditions I should say. There's no intermediate tyres for the Formula 2 cars. But yeah, that will be interesting to see if we can continue our pace in those conditions. It will dry up towards the end of the race though. But anyway, we will get into that right now.
We've reversed the top 8 from yesterday's race to set the grid for the sprint race here today, and the drivers are almost ready on the grid down below. I'm joined by a man who's had many a wet race, Davide Valsecchi. Just how challenging will these conditions be out there on track?
Delighted to be here, Alex. Even in this weather, nothing will be easy for them. We may have standing water, which means visibility will be a worry. They just need to stay clear of the white lines and curbs. That can cause you a real problem when it's so slippery.
Alright, so here we are for the sprint race. It'll be wet conditions for the first 10 minutes or so, and then we will switch to the dryers. So here we go to the 5 red lights. lights are out. We are underway for the sprint race here in Belgium from 12th on the grid, and the spray immediately kicking in. Everyone goes to the inside line. We find a lovely bit of space on the outside, and we're going to find our way all the way up into 8th position. We're already into the points in this race. That is a perfect start for us, as Jack Aitken loses out a couple of positions. Matsushita has gained up into 6th as well. So a great start for both of us title contenders, making a mess though of Eau Rouge, and we're going to be vulnerable as we head towards Les Combes, to the cars behind. Nick de Vries with a bad start in this one, losing a couple of positions as well, but we managed to cover him off, and now we can just try to focus on staying with the cars in front, and just trying to have a nice clean race and focus on the overtakes once things go dry. This is a replay of what just happened right behind us. Nick de Vries tried to make a move on us around the outside, makes a bit of light contact, and goes for a spin. Good effort by everyone else not to get involved in that incident. But here's the onboard with de Vries. We were running a little bit wide, but we weren't really changing our line or anything too aggressively. De Vries just a little bit of light contact, and in these conditions just unloaded his car. You might have noticed we had a little bit of a slide there as well at the moment that we made contact. But anyway, as we continue to struggle in these conditions through the first lap, the understeer is really kicking in. I feel like I may have overheated the tyres already in this race, so we're really going to have to try to look after those and try to keep them nice and cool as we continue in this race. So as we continue on though, a few cars heading into pit lane there. It is certainly not time for the dries, so either they got a bit of damage in the opening phase of this race, or they're going on to another set of wet tyres as we almost end our race at Radion there, but we managed to get away with that one. And as we continue on in this race, it does eventually become time for the dry tyres, only on lap 4. So as I said, around about 10 minutes, and it will be time for the dries. So into the pits we must go, and we will put the dries on for the rest of this race. It will be the medium tyres. The soft tyres, they might make it, but they won't have any pace by the end. But yeah, that is well, actually we don't have any soft tyres left. We used them at the end of the last race, so that's why we couldn't switch to them. Otherwise maybe I could have given it a try. But anyway, out of the pits we now go, and we'll see.
Clear of the white line on the exit. You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
It seems like everyone else went onto the medium, so no one taking the aggressive strategy this time. Of course, the soft tyres that everyone would go onto would be the ones from qualifying that would have a number of laps on them, so they likely wouldn't make it to the end with any kind of pace. So everyone going with the safe option.
P5, you're in P5. Hubert ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 6.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. Boccolacci is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 7.4 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 14 laps to go.
So I'm not sure about the accuracy of those numbers, but either way we are well and truly in the game in this one. Not too far behind the next car, not too far behind the leader, but you'll notice from when we pit to now, one very notable name has disappeared from the list in the top left. That is Matsushita. He has dropped way down the order. I'm not sure what happened. He may have just got held up in pits, but whatever happened, he has lost out big time in this race. He potentially had to double stack behind his teammate. I'm not sure, but whatever's happened, Matsushita has really had a bad day, and he's lost a lot of ground. But now we are putting pressure on Hubert and Delatraz, who are also having their own bit of a battle here with more cars up the road as well. So you can see we are well and truly in the game, as I said, with a nice run out of Kuon. We may be able to make the same move we did on Mazepin. No, we're going to go to the inside, down the inside of Hubert into the chicane, and we get the move done on the Frenchman. Next up is Delatraz, and then Ilot, who is running in P2 in this one. So let's see if we can make the same move on Delatraz that we did to Hubert as we head through Pouon. Once again, it's going to be a late move, and we're not going to get there this time. So we just have to sit behind Delatraz and maybe wait for the bus stop, because I think that would be the best place for us. So we have to just be nice and smooth as we get a good exit out of Stavolo, trying to not get the understeer that we've had at that corner in the past. And we get a nice run on Delatraz. We'll be in the slipstream as we head towards the bus stop chicane. So here we go. We're going to be flat through Blanchimont and see if we can make a move into the bus stop. No, we're going to make a move now as Delatraz goes wide, and we get ahead of the Swiss driver and move ourselves up onto the podium. Delatraz with a bit of a mistake there, running wide, and we take that opportunity and run away with the position. Next up is Callum Ilott, who's got a decent gap to us, so we're going to need to push pretty hard to catch him, but we've got plenty of time. And soon enough, we are right on the back of the Charoux driver. Down the inside we go into Lecom, and late on the brakes, we should get the move done relatively easily and move ourselves up into P2. Lacey is in the race lead, so the Frenchman in the Trident doing a superb job.
Sat in P2, Lacey ahead. Gap to car in front is 6.1 seconds.
And spoiler now, we are not getting any closer to Lacey. We just do not have the pace that he does, and it's Callum Ilott that's giving us trouble at the moment. He manages to get the position back on us as we are all over the place through Malmedy, and we have all the work to do once again versus Callum Ilott. We have to re-overtake him at some point. We actually moved all the way on to the penultimate lap of the race.
This is your final lap of the race.
And now, the final lap, little look to the inside, not going to make the move there. We need to make the move on this lap, or we will be finishing P3. We need to try and maximize points while Matsushita is having a bad race, and so is Correa having a bad weekend as well. So we need to really get the most out of this race that we can. Right behind as we head through Eau Rouge, and we'll have the DRS as we head towards the Lecom, and a nice run to the outside as he defends. We're going to make the move stick if we are late enough on the brakes, and we sweep around, retake the position from Ilott, and moves ourselves back up into P2. Meanwhile, Lacey is in a world of his own, so he's had a great race as we lose the back end. Ilott back around the outside, retakes the position, and we have a desperate dive around the outside of Ravage. Doesn't work out for us, and we have to recompose ourselves as we head through No Name Corner. Again, very aggressive over the inside curb there, trying to absolutely maximize everything. I'm not sure if it's really helping us at this point. I think we might go faster if we just calmed it down a bit. Too deep again into Pouon. We're not going to be able to make the move that we did on Hubert earlier in this race, and we really only have one opportunity left, and that would be into the bus stop. So let's try to get as close as we can through this whole section. We are gaining and gaining and gaining on Callum Ilott. So let's see what we can do. We get a nice exit, and we just have this one opportunity, so we have to make it work. It will have the slipstream all the way along through Blanchimont. So let's hope that it's enough to get us right up behind him before the bus stop. And it looks like it will be. Look at the speed that we're gaining versus the Englishman, and we're going to make the move, but are we going to go inside or outside? We're not really making a choice here. Ilott defends. We go down the outside into the penultimate corner. Contact between us. Front wing damage for us, but it's not going to matter because Ilott gets the traction around the outside anyway. Huge slide for us, and Ilott holds on to P2. We finish P3. What a race. Again, Jeff is completely silent over the radio at the end there. Latifi is the driver of the day. Wasn't a lot of action in that race until the very last lap, but what's going on with these end sequences being so long?
Brilliant stuff from Trident today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
Although the Formula 2 cars are all the same spec, the winner just looked better out there. It would have been a combination of getting those tires up to running temperature faster and driving to the condition on track. They made it look easy out there today.
It's the part we've all been waiting for, the podium finish, and it's probably one of the more unexpected finishes in a while. Trident take the victory, and Trident have made huge strides within F2 recently, and today proves that they're not only still in the race, they're in it to win. Congratulations to everyone on the team.
So it's Lacey who takes the win today. Callum Ilott manages to beat us to the line for second, so we finish up in third.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The Scientist increases their championship lead. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I take Nikita Mazepin. He was just special in the using of tires. He managed the tires to the end, and he was the quickest.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. It was also a strong race from Trident this weekend. Fantastic work from the Italian team to move themselves further up the table.
The official driver of the day also did a fantastic job. But I have to vote with my heart, and today I have to go in a different direction.
That's it for today's race. From Davide and I, it's goodbye, and we'll see you when Formula 2 returns.
Okay, how on earth did Ragnarson finish in 9th? Just outside the points. Anyway, great race from him, it would seem. For us, could have been better again. We definitely could have got second. I think Lacey just had some blinding pace in this race. It was insane. When we'd had the clear air ahead of Ilott for a while, we just couldn't catch him. He was just inching away, just 10th by 10th in every sector, and yeah, we just didn't have the same pace that he did. There's the contact, but I don't know. We just didn't have the pace this weekend, as simple as that. The racing, though, was a lot of fun. We had to push very, very hard in order to keep pace with everyone. So in terms of enjoyment, I really did enjoy these races, but in terms of results, it's just not what we needed. Thankfully, Matsushita had a bad race in the second one. Correa was also off the pace throughout the weekend. So in terms of the championship, we didn't lose out too badly, but I'm very grateful that we had that buffer to the two of them. But it does seem like it may be slowly turning into a two-horse race between myself and Matsushita for the title this year. But we'll see. Many things can change. There are still, I think, 3 rounds to go in Monza, Sochi, and finishing up in Abu Dhabi. So still plenty to play out. Hundreds or over 100 points left to hand out. So it can still very well all change in those final 3 rounds of the championship. Anyway, I will for now say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you for the next round in Monza, which will always be a very, very fun one. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.